Yo, hello guys, can you listen? Got sound? Yeah, can listen. Okay, so how's doing? Anyone like have used Nyrobrain and have any comment feedback? You guys try anything for the past week? Any alpha being discovered? CPI is up, but no alpha discovered yet. Okay, so what problem do you face? Anything, yeah. So some Q&A session first, then later we will talk about some regime filter stuff today. Okay, so I'm doing the testing live on YouTube as well, but I will focus on the Zoom, so-called Zoom chat. So you have any question, you can join the Zoom meeting, yeah, Zoom meeting or the Discord. I will see the Discord chat room. Yeah, I'm testing on YouTube as well. Okay. So I put a Discord link in the YouTube chat first, just in case. There's still people coming in. Ever use Polymarket as alternative data? Yes, I do. I did actually. Actually, I did a video like last year around when after the election has been completed on US. So after that, I got like review back on the case study that we made. So we did use the Polymarket data as alternative data during that time. So that time there was the obviously there's a elections pair on the poly market during that time. So there's an old saying on Wall Street is that don't see what they do, see where their money go, because money doesn't lie. So poly market is the bias of the insiders. If you are like, let's say you are a politician or so you already have some insights or so that you can price in. So they price in the market on the poly market so that we use that as a bias to become the so-called alternative data. So we did use the data to catch a significant rally during that time. So it's good because that time, like, I still remember the breakout of 120K during that time within a short period of time. Yeah, so it's a good catch from BG. Yes, we did. And that means also you have quite a good critical thinking. So you can think this as the alternative data. Yeah. So did you say if we feed PDF file, it will use more token? It's not use more token, it's just like normal consumptions because AI need to go through the text and the documents, whatever you have uploaded. So when it digests all the content, it become if you have the structure format for the AI as a context, so it will like follow accordingly, but it doesn't mean that it will consume more token. Yeah, so it's just like it need the AI intelligence, okay, to produce and to digest the content that you have been injected. Yeah, so it's just a process. And also depend on what model you use. So if let's say the source that you injected into the Nyrobrain, you need to like the source is like a bit complicated. It's more mathematical driven. There's more formula. There's more logic. It's not like a description based context, so that it require like the higher AI models to do it. So it's just like a simple text summary. Then you can just use normal, like below sonnet, even haiku is doable. But if you need to like construct it and also summarize and conclude as a more structured and useful knowledge extractions, then you can use like sonnet or even opus. Yeah. If yes, how do we convert to other format to reduce this token? The final format of being converted is always MD file, which is the markdown. So we doesn't convert to any other format. Yeah, because MD file is the only format that AI can consume and being documented into your brain, or the Nyrobrain, I mean, yes. So Polymarket is event specific, not hourly, weekly scripts. Not really understand what you mean, but it's like the normal backtest is just different data point, different data sets. So you download, because all the things is transparent. So even you can go scraping from the blockchain, or you can go using the API which Polymarket they do provide. So you can use that to pull whatever data you need. So it's like a free data source. Yeah. Feels like need a way to earn money via alpha discovery to close the loop. Can you share some experience if you ever researched on price data strategy or crypto before? Price-based strategy, as I say, is not a leading factor. So I personally and also my internal team doesn't like use a lot of time or effort to focus on price-based data. Yeah, but we do have some of it, but it's really not much. And also it's like very simple logic, because you're using price, you are trying to, like, let's say you are capture a momentum breakout signal to become a strategy, so that it's just like there's no other logic that you can use. So what kind of model like Z-score or RSI or even like simple SMA, okay, which is a moving average, is all break down to how you want to capture the signal. So when trend is like kick in, how you gonna like fine-tune your parameters accordingly with the methodology that you want to catch, which is your alpha hypothesis or alpha story. Yeah. So don't overcomplicate it. I don't believe that the more complicated model will help. Just to use price as the input to do whatever entry exit logic. You can use like different kind of entry exit logic, like okay, trailing stop, okay, and also like do multiple entry and so on. This kind of maneuver like by using the price-based strategy that might can improve your performance by using the price-based factor. But like model, like okay, the model, I'm not saying that like others ML model, like machine learning models, so that different things. So I'm just saying in the picture or spectrum between like using the statistical model. So you can like do percentile processing, you can do like even quantile regressions. That somehow makes sense, because you are trying to dissect and break down whether each time or each interval, maybe you're using daily time frame. So whether each day of the price movement is it within the so-called a normal, or is it like a big volatile market period? So you can use that to dissect and study on whether the price, when it has an extreme movement, whether there's really have the what we call autocorrelation, means that the price of today will if affect on the following days. So how strong was it? So if you can, there's a like you can do t-test or significant test to prove that the hypothesis or the autocorrelation is really have the effect, and prove that the significance is there, then you can use it as the idea. And of course, you still need to do the back test, and also the walk forward test and so on to like really prove the alpha is really working and also robust. Because as I say, price-based strategy is like really easily to being overfit. Yeah, so the best case to do is walk forward, rolling walk forward test to prove the robustness. Okay. Do you use optimal horizon forward? Yes. So this is one of the EDA tests. Okay, let me share the screen. So okay, so you guys can see. Okay, so the pipeline here I did is around the 8-step. Okay, so I just briefly go through again. So the first step is always diagnose the data to flag even that the data is complete or there's some null data, so that at least the AI or the Nyrobrain will be aware, and also at least to have 2 years of data at least, because or else we have not enough data to do the separation between the test set and the train set. So we always need to train and optimize based on the train data so that we don't pollute anything to have a look ahead bias. Yeah, where's the sound coming from? Oh, okay, he's here. Wait, let me close down. Okay, so step one, just now I mentioned already. Okay, is to test the data and also flag for the Nyrobrain that what kind of shortage or what kind of what we call corrupted data in the data set we are going to test. And also to make sure that we have enough sample size to do the so-called walk forward and the back test, the train set and the test set. Then the test and also the train test, we do all the optimization to prevent all the look ahead bias probability in our back test, because look ahead bias it's not considered overfit anymore, because it's just that you have the answer in advance and you try to fit the answer with your model. So obviously the final result coming out is very good, but it's a false positive. It's a fake answer. So we cannot rely on this kind of backtest result. So that we need to very aware of this, and we need to set up the strict rules when you're doing the backtest, especially you're using AI. Okay, or else like you will deceive yourself. So step 2, we do the story mapping, which is like, okay, let's say you are doing, okay, let's say we're going to some of the cases. So because we already do the knowledge base, right? Okay, so last week I have shared about how we do the knowledge base injection. So if you miss out of it, you can go to the Discord, okay, which is in the chat room. So I have the recording on the last week live stream session, so you can refer back. Okay, so after all the knowledge base, then we did the, let's say, is it this one? No, yeah, this one. Okay, so I just asked, okay, do an alpha research idea with the inspiration of our past learning via our KB network. KB stands for knowledge base. So it will refer to a knowledge base, which is, I mentioned in last live stream video, but in a nutshell is that we do all the digestion and also the injections from our external source like Patreon, Medium, Substacks. Whenever article that's publicly out there, then you can like do the injections to the Nyrobrain. So let's say I just simply pick one. That's a lot. Okay, a bit like. Okay. Okay. So after I click in, this is all the learnings and so on, all the summaries. Even you can check where the source is coming from. So this one is coming from Patreon, right? So the Patreon from this article, so let's say I click in. Okay, so this is the article. So whatever learnings is being being learned through in Nyrobrain. So I just asked him to refer from the last whatever learning in the past. Okay, let me admit some guy in. So you go through a knowledge base, okay, go and do some search, okay, you will refer all these files, okay, the related one. So, and also explore about our past, whatever it works, whatever doesn't works, okay. And also test through what were the hypothesis idea that we hasn't did. Because I don't want to do some overlapping research, which is you burn token for nothing. And eventually in my research, some of the alpha ideas that have been tested, which is finding out the same strategy so that we do the so-called restrictions. So eventually he do all the thing, all the analysis, he came up with a thesis. So this is a thesis. I didn't teach anything or try to prompt anything. It's just done through from the knowledge base. So in the knowledge base, there's like around 20K of the nodes, which is the knowledge. So you just do, and I have do some priority ranking. So because the AI itself, we do the embedding, we took some time and do the restructuring whenever you inject some knowledge in it. If you do some analysis and also do the structuring and rank accordingly the category within the network, and also to do the prioritizations. So automatically we do the comparison and prioritize whatever alpha ideas to do the research first. Okay. So the thesis here is like using the OI. OI stands for open interest, liquidation, whatever. So go on and on. Okay, if do the EDA results. So the EDA result is the question that from Law Yuhang. Okay, so Yuhang asked about that. So from the EDA result, it will do the optimal horizon researching and also what kind of, optimal horizon means that during the research, it will study on the factor data, what is the optimal horizon for holding it by using the factor, what kicks in the effect have the highest forward returns. The forward return means that how high of the predictability has of the factor data. So we do all the research and also so after you have the optimal horizon, then you can have a range of doing the bound of the window. So the questions are from the questions. So automatically from the EDA result, after you do the verdict is just simply like judgment. So after do the research, it proceeds like it is like proving that the signal is real. Okay, waiting is. So the signal is real, and we'll be proceeding for the next step, which is the model selections. Because I pre-trained all the models, so it's in here. So the model training is I give him all the model I have, which is again you can ask AI for this. So the model is helping you to capture the signal because all the data is like some kind of noise and some kind of random. If you don't do any processing, it's just like random data. So you need to like process the data in a way that it's good and easy for doing the signaling. So we have the list of let me show something. Okay, so this is the model list I have. So I just input all the data, all the model I have here, and also the following formula here. Okay, so this is the resources file. Okay, so this one has no any context. And if you give AI, if you need to let AI to choose among all the lists, he can do it, but it means that he need to always analyze every time. So which is you need to spend like extra tokens just for every single research. So what I do is just that I'm doing the pre-train because I know that every time the AI will need to have this context to choose the right model to use, or else you need to like brute force all the possible model within the list, and then you will have a really long processing time just to get the final result. Okay, so what I mean by pre-train, I just ask the AI to study all the model lists I have. So based on the mathematical property of the model, what does it solve? What is the strength and the weaknesses? And what kind of data structures that is good to being used as a model to generate the useful signal. So like some kind of data is bounded with percentage, which has a positive, negative data. So it will use the preferred model, these three. Okay, what kind of model to avoid? Okay, this of the model. Okay, so let's say the data structures has the heavy outliers. Okay, so what kind of model to use? Yeah, so and so on. Okay, so finally, he do the decision. Okay, we're going to use the pre-processing method of doing the log and also doing a MAT Z-score model to capture the signal based on the EDA report and also based on our alpha story. Because in our alpha story, we will specify, okay, what kind of event or what kind of market anomalies when it happens from the data, and we're trying to catch either it's a spike or is it's a continuous uptrend or downtrend movement, or is it the so-called extreme outlier value? Okay, so and so on. It's like different kind of angle to capture the signal. So after you decide, okay, and also deciding the entry exit logic is like the long only stuff, okay, whatever goes on and on. So first time we do, okay, the in sample, IS is in sample, OS is out of sample. So the Sharpe ratio is 1.54 and the out sample is 0.66 for Sharpe ratio. Okay, so it's like not really really sexy or attractive result. So then, but the pipeline hasn't finished. So the pipeline will go to the next phase is doing the grid search, okay, from here. Okay. So where is it? Okay, step 3 EDA, and then step 4 do the method selections. So step 7 is optimization. So here is the optimization part. So you're doing the optimization, and after that you find that okay, the OOS have improved. The Sharpe ratio can become to 1.65. So it's considered a good strategy already. Anything above 1.5, and especially it's OOS out of sample, is a deployable strategy already. Because if you have a pool or the group of strategies that have 1.65 and above, and you have 50 or 100 of alpha, then you combine with the portfolio Sharpe, it will most likely break up to like 2.0 Sharpe and above. Okay, so that's considered a useful alpha already. So for the next step, it will goes to okay, the so-called the regime filter. Okay, so today we'll talk about the regime filter, right? Okay, so this is the step 8 of the pipeline that we are talking here. Okay, so okay, let's stop a while to refer back the questions again. So did I answer a question for Yuhang? Did you say if we can I keep Nyro not running even my laptop is closed? Yes, you can. Okay, so you can just like click the send button when you want to process. You can just close even your laptop is closed, and you even can continue on your mobile app. Okay, so any one of you don't know how to use it on your mobile as an app, you can type a 3 because last time I already showed, but just asking. Yeah, so can I have a look of your quotes, GMO? Yes. So quotes method. Yep. It's like from the past learning, what does they learn, and also, okay, you can read it yourself. It's like what kind of okay, because crooks just simply means that what kind of thing that we need to take note during our research. So whatever from the past research or past learning, if you automatically like try to append all the new things to take note in here. It's also all AI generated to for information. Yeah. In EDA, explain more. Okay, EDA is a big topic, and maybe next time, okay, I can like share with you guys. But today we try to focus on one topic first, which is regime, because a lot of guys of you like trying to request for this. Can? If data only have 2 or 3 years, is it enough for work forward? Enough for 7.3? How to say this? If data only have 2, 3, is it enough for work forward? It depends of what kind of work forward you're using. If like just simply 70-30, I would think that even okay, 2 years is enough based on the sample size you have. Okay, 2 to 3 years is okay. But if you are thinking from the market dynamic, maybe it's not, because in crypto especially, there's the 4-year cycle. We are trying to make our strategy go through even bear bull cycle. So if your period is only have bull period, then maybe you have some over exaggerated result, or we call false positive, because your strategy can only work during bull market, let's say. So in bear market, then it goes to have a very poor performance. So that's why we always like have 4 years of data, because 4 years of data is most probably will cover all years of bull and bear cycle. So you can kind of stress test your strategy within bull and bear, and especially within the transitions. If you can survive during the transition period and also the bear market, it's not just a single regime working strategy, then means that your strategy is kind of robust. And also this is kind of like to stress test like whether if you have implement a suitable regime filter. Because if it's just a raw strategy, it's like you're just using a model and doing an entry as a logic, and most probably you will fail during the regime transitions, which is bear to bull or bull to bear. So that's why regime filter is important as well. Because regime filter is try to like help you to differentiate what kind of regime that works during certain period. If you can identify this, means that during the regime that is not suitable for that particular alpha, it can just avoid it and ignore it and just basically do nothing. Even it can do like reversing. So reversing means that during the let's say the other regime that not gonna work during the original alpha, it can reverse in the other way. Because if your alpha is going to lose money during that kind of regime, means that if you reverse the positions signaling, means that it can start to earn money. That's some of the cases is like so. Okay. So I would suggest 2 years is a minimum, but the best to have is 4 years. But like so-called like the ETF data and so-called some of the new alternative data, maybe you cannot have so long of the sample period, so then you just can use 2 years that's you need to use that what we call is satellite alpha. Okay, satellite alpha is that you're not going to have some really significant allocation in the portfolio by running all this kind of like really new alpha, which is that don't have certain sufficient of sample size for you to do the back test. Okay, we still run it, but we will control the allocation from the portfolio's perspective, even it's like very good. Okay, because for this kind of data, some of the market participants or some other quants, maybe he yet to capture the alpha. Okay, so you can use it as the extra access return. Yeah, but need to be really aware of it because you have yet to have the sufficient sample size to do the verification whether the data is going to work during the BAM regime, because ETF data is good, it's really working during the bull market, but is it going to work as well during the BAM regime? Yeah. So that's the question you need to ask. Possible to have guide or tutorial on how to set up the agents MD? Yes, we will do that, but because in the live sessions, we're gonna focus more on like topic discussions. So for the like systematical kind of workshop or courses, we will try to pre-recorded it as a basic so that every one of you during the live sessions that you already have the fundamental. So we can talk more about the more in-depth topic, more complicated topic, complex topic during the live sessions. Yeah. So we will do it and you guys can look forward for it. Okay. I'd like to ask the Claude in Nyrobrain only limited to quant researching, or you can do anything in Nyrobrain like coding website. Technically you can do coding website in Nyrobrain as well. Yeah, because the underlying AI model is like Claude basically. So you can do it whatever because you can have access to the file explorer here, right? So you can do anything. You want to build even the projects or so on, you can do it. Yeah, but it's not meant for this. It's meant for doing quant research. 可以用不同代币替代 test period. Why? The question is, can I use different asset or different ticker to substitute into the test period? Obviously, no. I'm not having the full context what you're trying to ask. But if you are backtesting BTC, of course, obviously you need to use BTC as a test period. Yeah, but if the question is you're trying to backtest other ticker, like let's say Luna or so on, you can because the data is here. Because you have the data source from here. Okay, so you can access to CryptoQuant, Glassnode, Ember Data, CoinGlass here. So the price from Binance, Bybit, OKX, BitGet, you can, if you want to really specify it, you can do it so. But if it doesn't specify default, by default, it will run using Binance price. Because Binance has the highest liquidity among all the exchange. So we use it as the benchmark of the price. So in crypto, a simple SMA trend filter seems a bit too easily boost many longer. Yes. Yeah. You do your research. Yes, indeed. So you use it as a regime filter using the price SMA is also gonna work. Yes. Because it's some of the the underlying truth is that because some of the data, even you're doing with the model, okay, of course you can fine-tune the model in the way that it can so-called filter out the noises during the normal days, which is it's not the real signal. But the easy way, that's why Jen Yu says that if you use the SMA 200, okay, just a simple filter that can be worked because it's just trying to filter out all the noise movement during the by looking into the factor data, which is like from the CoinGlass or even from CryptoQuant, maybe it's the exchange net flow, even it's like options IV data, then you can filter out. So it's just like have a confirmation of when price really kick in, break through the trend, okay, the SMA 200, okay, or even break down. So it gives you the signal that, okay, the price of the assets is really kicking in. So with the data that you have back tested, it gives you the confirmation, okay, now is the time that you can going in, either long or shorts to capture the rally. Yes. It might be a fat cost Bitcoin, yeah, hard bull, but it feels like no, there's a bear. We just apply filter. Yeah, you need to fine tune the parameters because for bear and bull case, it might have the different parameters to have the optimal timing to help you to do the filtrations. How can we compute threshold and window range? Is it using frequent for threshold range and horizon for window range? How can we compute threshold and window range? Is it using frequently for threshold range and horizon for window range? You mean optimizations? So basically we just do optimizations. So optimization is just simply testing all the cases, okay, of all the parameters, either for your rolling windows or your data factor threshold. then you just optimize the best one. But we don't optimize based on the peak value, which is the highest sharp. We try to optimize in a way that it has the high plateau. Plateau means that all the surrounding has also have a averagely higher value of the Sharpe ratio, or either if you want to optimize the objection function as Sortino ratio or at max drawdown, you can do it so. So that's the process we call optimizations. So in order to help you to find the best param to set up as your configuration of the strategies. Okay. So now I think it's the time where we can start doing some regime filter discussions. Okay, so regime atlas. Okay, so this is the so-called regime filter, as you can see. Okay, so now I just have some. Okay, again, anything you can just ask AI. Okay, even like with your knowledge base, that's how you can leverage based on how you use AI. It's not just asking questions and just asking, give me some strategies that work. Because if you have no context, if you have no knowledge in your knowledge base, it just randomly go through like the external web search and try to give random thoughts or random perspective for you, so that it's not going to work that way. So because since now we have the data source here, okay, so you can ask him to study, okay, what is the existing data source we have and which kind of it based on the description study you have. Okay, you ask him to study all the data source, the description you have, and try to extract out which kind of data factor can be used as a regime factors. So regime factor is just simply means that, okay, you need to use it as the market distinguish signal. Okay, what kind of data is explaining the market macroeconomics? Whether now it's a bear regime, bull regime, whether it's a high volatility regime or low volatility regime. So with different kind of this so-called metrics would help Nyrobrain to help you to pick your regime factor for your certain strategies. Because your strategies, you will be outputting your equity curve, right, eventually. So it will study your equity curve and match this regime mask, okay, or we call regime atlas. So the mask means that it's a filter. So as you can see, there's like the green, red, green stuff. So what it do is like it analyze your equity curve, your raw equity curve without doing any regime filter. I will study like which period of time you have negative returns and which of the period you have a positive return, which is your equity curve is going up or is going down. Okay, so you do a matching with your regime factors. So if like, let's say during this period, okay, so let's say it's like it has a high funding rate. So during your drawdown period, let's say during this time, okay, let's say during this time you have a drawdown period. During this time you have a drawdown period, which means you have a negative P&L. And also if you match with your regime atlas and also your regime mask, it has the low value of funding rate, let's say. So easily it will match in the way that it's telling you that during the low market regime, which is the funding rate is low, your strategy is not working very well. Okay, so the easy part is that when the funding rate is very low, so under the certain threshold, I just skip. I just make my strategy into flat positions, or you can do it as a reverse positions. Because if you're having drawdown, means that if you're doing in the reverse way, obviously it will become a positive P&L curve, right? So this is the so-called concepts. So you can see during here, okay, so this is like the cross-check table for the AI to really know what you're trying to do. So when the regime has 1 means that regime is on, you just follow whatever position you have as a raw strategies, okay, raw signal. So it's regime off, okay, let's say just now the case, whenever funding rate is low, it's not going to perform well, so I just leave it. I don't want to have any positions, so it means that the regime is 0. Okay, it means close right away or just sit out. Okay, close means that if you are having a position at that time, and you have a signal of the regime is giving you the signal that you need to sit out of the market. So which is you have a 0. So your initial position is, let's say your signal is 1, is long. Regime is 0, so it will multiply into the new signal and become a 0. So we'll sit out of the market and you will be automatically close up your positions and stay out. Can't see the wording. Okay. Now can see. Okay. So you have all the possibility here. So if your signal is 1, means you're long, and regime is 1, okay, of course you just follow the positions, continue the long. Okay, so let's say you have a short positions, okay, regime telling you to stay out of the market, so 0, flat, sit out. So if you have 1, and the regime telling you that when you have a drawdowns during your raw strategy, which is your equity curve is drawing down, and it says that, okay, if you're doing reverse, means that your initial position is long, and you reverse the position, it becomes shorts. Okay, so 1 multiplied by -1 is -1. So we short, long becomes shorts, signal reverse. Okay. So here is the process. So this is all the, let's just see this one. See. Yeah, this one, sorry. Okay. So this code is how he do the regime at last. So whatever we have the new factor, okay, let's say we have this factor, okay. Okay. So this is all the regime factor I have for currently in this Nyrobrain. So this is all the process. It will do the so-called just now what you see here. So you can match all these regime atlas with your alpha. Okay. So let's say your alpha is, let's say, Coinbase Premium Gap. It will use only the back test, which is the trend set of the data. Okay, so to make sure there's no look ahead bias. Okay, what? Okay, so backward. Okay, we only use the backward, which is the back test or the trend set data, okay, to train the regime. So we can make sure during the forward test is all just pure walk forward. There's no any look ahead bias in it. Okay, so it will use the P&L to match whether it has a positive or negative value comparing to the regime atlas. Okay, so after that, it will find whether which kind of, okay, let me use the simple example here. Okay, just now I've just asked research. Okay, fine. Okay, just show the result first. Okay, so after you do the, okay, this one without regime matching, but this is the just now if when we just started, we just do like the one single prompt, that's it. Nothing extra. I just did this one prompt and it just produced this result. Okay. So even the OOS is like really good. Okay, there's no like difference between comparing to the trend sets here. So it's still considered a good strategy that's deployable. Okay, saying that it's real strengthening. Okay, this is other stuff we just did. So just now I just asked, okay, any of the past case strategy is using the regime filter. Okay. So the case is this one, BTC, whatever. So MVD 223. So the base, the Sharpe ratio is bad, okay, has a low return and have a really big max drawdown. So after doing the regime filter, it has a higher returns and also lower MVD. So it pre-screen everything, the result, and also telling you what kind of improvement it has from the process. So collapse, is it this one? Yeah, I think it's this one. Again, this alpha hypothesis is not provided by me, so it's just doing its work, just agentic research. So this is a result for 7-3 splits. Okay, this is doing some param shift stuff. Okay, it's another topic. Okay, here. Okay, we will do some explanation this afterwards. Okay, like next sessions. So just want to let you guys to see how he doing the regime filter, how it improve. So this one is the improved version, or of course it's like this one is like pure OOS and it's rolling walk forward so that it's even better. Because as you can remember, this one, the first one is like 1.6 and also only have 7-3 split. So 7-3 split means that this one is all trained data. Okay, so everything is optimized based on here. So the OOS starting from here. So if I want to have like most honest and full flash of the data starting from the 4 years of the data starting here, which is 2021. So I just use the full walk forwards backtest results. So it's like having a better result 1.8. Just now it's like 1.5, 1.6. So this is like come together with the regime filter. Okay. So plus another 233 of Sharpe, and the total return 77.5 and the MDD is 24.6. Yeah. So for here, any questions? So if I scrolling down here, okay, this is how he do the pre-screening. Okay. Let me see the questions first. What's the red and green and white charts about? Red means reverse, green means positive, white means 0 for the regime. Yeah. So one means that it's good to do follow, and also -1 is good for do reverse. 0 is just stay out. Regime filter is only done after optimization. Yes. Yes. Regime factor 是透过什么观念定义？ Okay, so I explain again. So what kind of factors can be used at regime filter? So let's say some of the on-chain data, which is like it's moving really slow, like let's say NUPL, SOPR, that kind of data, it tends to move quite slow. But when the data is like going into the range that let's say MVRV is like a very popular indicator on using the on-chain data. So whenever it's at a low range, you know that the market is kind of like bottom up, starting to bottom up. So if you have running some short strategy, that's the time that maybe you need to stay out of the market so that the regime will tell you that when MVRV is very low, you just stay out of the market, right? Because it's a short bias strategy, then you just avoid the time period or the market regime is that going to have a price pumping rally is coming up. So you just avoid it because you have a short bias strategies. So in other way, if you have a long positions or long bias strategy, then of course you just let it follow and let the regimes to do its work and going to capture the rally movement that's going to pumping up. So regime filter factors is that how you can give a glance for your Nyrobrain or your research work to know that how I can differentiate through different market period and also trying to reflect or explain whether now the market is better for your strategy or not. Because you have alpha strategy, like let's say you are trying to catch a trend breakout. Let's say it's a factor, let's say Coinbase, whatever. Okay, Coinbase PI. So the Coinbase PI is the long bias strategy and also is trend following strategies. So whenever the market regime factor is telling you that, okay, the market is going to enter into a consolidation markets, it's not going to break out, there's no trending movement, it's just going to stay here for a particular time, okay? So you just avoid it and you can try to save up the drawdown. So in other case, if your strategy is like trying to catching the oversold, overbought, ranging kind of strategies, then if the market regime is telling you that now is considered a consolidating markets, okay, which is kind of good for your strategies, then you know that the regime is telling you to go follow, then you just follow it, which is whatever strategy is signaling out, you just do it accordingly. Yeah. So am I answering your questions for Oppo Reno 13? Yeah. So it's like you need to find that kind of factor that is giving you useful information, telling you that, well, okay, whether volatility is high or low, or whether the market is going to a bear or bull, or whether the market is going to have trending market or mean reversion market. So it's like the characteristics of the market is going to enter into. So this kind of insight or information is very useful for your individual alpha, because the individual alpha have their own property that may be capturing different kind of market regimes. That's why we call it regime. Regime means that market is not going to stay whatever it is for the long period of time. So maybe the market will be different every month. Okay, so this month is a consolidation market. So next month is a bull trending market. So another month is like have a high volatility markets. So maybe it's still ranging, but has a higher volatility. Okay, so what kind of data is like can explain throughout these three kind of different scenario. So these three kind of scenario, you'll be have a different kind of suitable strategy to run. So for the first case, okay, trending market, so you need to always run those alpha that is capturing trends. Okay, so the second case is consolidation market, so you run mean reversion strategies. So for the third case, maybe you want to try to run the mean reversion strategy, or even try to implement some like options trading. So you can do the straddle, strangle, sell, okay, or put so or buy, not put. So you can buy or sell volatility through using options. Yeah, if you have seen the regime is gonna like stay flat, there's no like big volatility, have a low volatility market, then you can do the sell option strategy, which is you kind of like sell put and sell call. Okay, you are collecting the premium. So in other hand, if the regime is telling you this is gonna be a high volatility market, so you can buy put and buy call. Okay, which is like longing the volatility of the markets. Okay. Okay, what do you mean when you say regime filter and train set only? Okay, so everything you try to optimize or trying to get a configuration based on your alpha, like let's say your parameter setting, and also your regime filter, which kind of regime filter you want to use. You always need to use train set data, because or else means that you are doing a looking ahead bias think. Okay, so whatever train set you have, you do all the optimization of parameters, selection of a regime filter. So you have the configuration of your strategies. When I say configuration, it just basically means that how you run your strategies, okay, and you run it on your test set. So it's like simulate what during your live deployment, because you deploying live, you cannot get the future data, right? So you just can deploy whatever configuration you have set. Okay, the model, the entry exit logic, the regime filter, whatever. So you simulate it, so you cannot have anything trained based on your out of sample data sets. So is it that kind of makes sense for BG? Okay, good. Still don't understand how to implement regime. Okay, let me go step by steps again, maybe later, but let me try to understand what kind of thing that you guys still not sure. Is this part of optimization or diagnose the drawdown? Is the part of optimization's process. So the previous optimization that we just go through is optimize your parameters. Okay, in terms of your model rolling window, your threshold of your signaling, that's the signal optimizations. So after you have the signal optimization, you do the regime filter selections is to help you to avoid the market that is not suitable for alpha. So it's kind of like optimize your drawdown. In a way, if your drawdown is optimized, of course, your total return eventually will be getting higher. Yeah, so it's still optimizations. Okay, good. Thank you for the understand reply. So what logic do you use to determine whether a data metric is better to be used as regime filter? Or a feature? Is a monotonic feature binary, the regime? Secondly, how do you decide the time? Okay, there's two questions here. So whether what kind of features is good for using regime filter? So just now I mentioned already. So if the factor is kind of have like slow, okay, slow. It's not like very kind of really responsive data, but it's kind of telling you what kind of the market dynamic is it in during now or whatever time frame whatever time period it is in. Okay, so like MVRV, NUPL, like the on-chain fund reserve, okay, things like that. That's kind of like macroeconomics data. So it can give you the explanation of what the market is in right now, whether it's like a high interest market, low interest market, okay, high vol, low vol. This kind is like all the metrics that is telling you by using the regime factors. But when you are trying to use it as alpha, the trade number will be very, very low. Okay, let's say 1 year you only can have 3, even like 5, 6 entry exit chances, which is this will be maybe you will see the positive result, even a considerably high Sharpe ratio, but the sample size is not enough because the trade number is too low. Within like 4 years of data, maybe you only have 20 trades. So it's not good enough for you to just use it as an individual alpha. So we will use it for the regime filter, because regime filter is that it's like the plug-in or the add-on on your original alpha, and your original alpha already have a reasonable trade numbers. So let's say in 1 year you have like 800 trades, let's say. Okay, 800 is too much. Like, okay, one year you have like 150 trades, let's say. Okay, it's like a 50% of exposure comparing to a time period. So 4 years of data, you will easily have like 600, 800 of trades. So the sample size is enough, is sufficient. So you're using regime filter as a add-on, as a filtration, basically. That's why we call filter. So to filter out, to avoid the regime that is not good for alpha. Okay, so I can't, whether answer your questions, you can let me know. So this is the answer for it. So secondly, how do we decide the time horizon or regime filter? Because regime filter is not a time sensitive thing. We will just optimize the parameter. like just simply use the, okay, like the regime atlas here, right? You can see if I zoom in a little bit. Too big. Not sure you guys can see this number here. So here it just simply means like different rolling window. Okay. So from here is 672, 504, 336, 240. So it kind of map up your, okay, how do I say this? Okay, just now you guys have asked me, okay? So there's a red, there's a green. So why it turns red, why it turns green is like he have already mapped out based on the different rolling window. Okay, here is like each row is like different rolling window. So whenever turn red or green is based on whether the funding level is high or low. So when the funding level is high, is green. So it's low, is red. So it's like a normal period is going to 0. Okay, so this is an example. So that's why we call it matching. So this is the regime mask or regime atlas. So the regime atlas will be comparing with the equity curve here. Okay, so whenever the red period there's a drawdown, when the green period is have a going up equity curve, then simply means that when the funding rate is low, it have a bad result for the equity curve. So in other words, during the red, after like we already verified the funding level is the right regime factor to use. So it means that during the red regime, if you do the reverse exercise, okay, reverse implementation. So whenever it's green, you just follow the trades. So for 0 means the flat period here, you just do nothing. Okay, so I think this is like the better explanation and also visualization for you, right? Okay, so the different rolling window, as you can see, the higher the rolling window means the transition between the red and green regime will be slower. So that whenever you see like the top of the bar or top of the graph on each of the regime factor, it will have a longer period of the regime before it during the transitions, right? Okay, so lower the rolling window, that obviously will have a higher noise, so the transition will be more frequent. So this is why you will seeing this graph illustrations. This is also how you understand it lah. Okay, so it's just to try to map out, okay, the high and low value of the regime factors and doing the matching. Okay, so whichever of the regime factor has a higher match rate with the equity curve, whether the the equity curve is going up, is matching the green, or the going down is matching the red, or some kind of like not unstable period is like matching with the white period, then it knows it's the best match. So you can apply the regime filter accordingly, and of course, to study the after effect before and after you apply the regime filter. Okay, so this is the after you apply, you see this one. So the blue line here is the original raw data, raw strategy, doesn't do any like filter. So this is a base, no regime. So as you can easily compare like the red one, yellow one, different rolling window, that how it affects the raw strategy. So obviously it's an improved regime to be applied, right? Okay, so this is the period only after the out of sample, because this is in sample, this is out sample. So as you can see, it's obviously overperforming comparing to the base strategies. Okay, so again, you can compare. Okay, this one is the base strategy. Even like other kind of like the second tier, third tier to use as the different filter that you also can doing the comparison chart. Because like in the old ways, when we want to do the comparison, it's like very tedious. You want to use coding, especially you want to do the plot, it's like very mafan, very troublesome. So here I just simply ask him to compare. Okay, so where's the prompt? Okay, so which are the selected regime to improve the equity curve? Plot me before, after. I just simply prompt this prompt. It's like very easy, just one line of prompt or the command. Okay, you just run out. So again, you can compare before, after, okay, before and after. So all of the regime filter here that is working, he already listed out for you. So you know that even he already selected for you, you also can see whatever other result or other regime factor that can improve your strategies. As you can see, the improvement is really big, right? So like the 200%, but here is 300%. So it's like way more difference. So this is like really, really important, and how you can make your alpha more robust is through regime filters. Because like, okay, I didn't plot out the price here, okay, but during this time period, there's actually the bear markets. So after the regime filter is still like helping you to like running through even the bear regime or bull regime without like within the transitions of the regimes. So do you guys think regime filter is very important? You think it's important? And if this session is useful, giving you the insights on how you can apply and improve your strategies, then you can type Nyro lah, okay? We just use a new word, Nyro. Okay. So this is like it's a very powerful thing. And actually a lot of people like kind of skip through this part, but it's very important. Yeah. Yeah, so you can compare the base strategy and also the better one, which is a application with the regime filter. So just now I skipped one here. Let me explain back here. So as you can see, this is how they do the scoring. Okay, so my scoring metric, you can do it yourself. It's all customizable, but I want to have the improvement on the Sharpe ratio, Sortino ratio, the max drawdown period, and also the max drawdown magnitude itself. So this is a 4-factor that I have included in. Then maybe later I find back the source file for you to have a glance of it. So this is how he do the ranking. So the higher the ranking score means the regime factor have a better fit and also have a better improvement application when you do it, apply the regime filter. So this is how he do the so-called analysis. So as you can see, this is what I just explained. So during the regime 1 period, the equity curve, the expected equity curve should be going up. So whenever there's a equity curve going down, the regime filter expected to have a -1. So this is like when the negative regime, the higher the Sharpe ratio, the better. So this one is when the regime is 1, the higher the Sharpe or higher the scoring is, the better. So what we want is that regime 1 and regime -1 is kind of losses. So this one is comparing to the raw equity curve. So we want to have when the regime 1 have a positive curve and the regime -1 has a negative curve, which is here. So we expected the dotted here to have the negative result when the regime is -1. So when have a higher result during the regime is 1, right? So this is whenever the data or the scatter plot here is work towards the top left here is the regime filter factor that we want to use. Okay, this part can understand or not? Okay. So if you can understand, you type a yes. If you cannot understand, you type a no. So this is how the Nyrobrain do the analysis. Okay, we want to expect the dotted here. Okay, so the more it works toward the higher top bottom and not top left is better results. It's a better alpha factor, regime factor that we want to use. Okay, this one is not important. Okay, this one is a blue one is a BTC price. The yellow one is the equity curve. Yeah. So as you can see, either going up is making money, but the market going down is still like avoiding the market because this one is a long bias strategies. So it kind of avoid out this kind of period. So it's considered good. Means the regime factor is working. Okay, let me go. Okay, no. Blur because it's first time seeing the chart and the wording super small. Okay. Okay, let me open here, open image in the new tab. Okay. So the composite score, the scoring here, I think is not the problem. So this is the part. Okay, so we just go one by one, the axis here. Okay, now can see clearly or not? If yes, you type a yes. Okay, as you can see here, the y-axis is trying to differentiate when the regime is 1, then the equity curve is going positive. Okay, then this is good, right? We want to have this scenario. So the second case is when the sharp is going down, okay, when the regime is -1. So then you still remember the regime at last, okay, all the green and red. It means that you want to try to scan through when the equity curve is going down, means that has a negative Sharpe ratio, right? So we want to have a negative, okay, which is on the x-axis. We want to see them on here, because the more negative of the Sharpe ratio means that during the regime it should have a -1, right? So that's why I say we need to expect the scatter plot to be up here, which is on the top left. Okay. So again, when the equity curve of mine of the raw strategies is going to negative, it should be matched down here. Okay. So when the regime is 1, and of course we are expecting positive, it's going up here. So it's comparing to the regime mask here. It's like just the same terminology that I've just explained. So I'm trying to match whenever the green have the positive and whenever the red has a negative, is considered good. So that's how it like plot the graph here lah. So if like this, can understand already? If can, you type a yes. If no, you type a no. Okay, X, okay, again. Means that whenever the mask, okay, the regime at last, okay, again, you got green, you got red. So you can imagine here is all the green. Okay, all the green is like taking out all the green sample out and trying to match whether the equity curve has the positive result, right? So the better the result here, the higher the scatter plot will be, if based on y-axis. Okay, so for x-axis, you can like imagine is like taking out all the regime mask that matching with the equity curve of the red one. Okay, the red one here. So the red one here, you just imagine, okay, he take out the period of here, red one, take out the period of here, the red one, take out the period of here. Okay, so he evaluate whether all the extracted red regime, is it matching to the negative result of the equity curve? Whether the equity curve is going down, to be more simplified, to be more easy to say. So from this graph, we are expecting the graph to be more towards here, right? Because we're expecting when the regime is -1, the mask is telling you that the regime is red. I'm expecting my equity curve, which should be -1, means that it's like correctly identify that the regime, when it's turning red, the equity curve is going down, because that tell me that I can do a reverse trade, a reverse regime implementation, or I'm just staying flat out, because I want to know that which kind of regime that match with the red is telling me that this is the factor that affecting the price or the equity curve going down, so I can avoid it. Yeah, we want to see negative result, okay? Because of course, when I have the red regime, I'm expecting my raw strategy equity curve is going have a negative result on the equity curve is I have to draw down. Yeah, if I explain like this, is like more clear? If yes, you type a yes. So I know that all the guys in the room you understand. Yeah, can be understood. The scoring is like how high it. Okay, so the more negative means that it predict more. It's like the more best fit it has. So it's like just -2, 4. Okay, it's like okay, it's still matching, but it's not good enough. So we of course we want to try to pick the most optimal one, right? So the better the result during the regime green regime, or the worst result when there's a red regime. So this is the result. Okay. So if we're seeing the raw code here, okay, okay, so this is the scoring. Let me see. The regime coherence. Let's see this one. Okay, so this is the code here. Again, I just tell what I want to do into Nyrobrain. I have asked him to prepare this source code. So this source code is in the file explorer here. So it's like in the scripts, and okay, it's been brain scripts. Regime coherence, yeah, it's here. Okay, so you can see whatever logic it has here. Okay, data fetching, signal computations. Okay, this one is already calculating the results. Okay, coherence measure. Yeah, I think this is the one. Yeah. So test all the regime factor. Just now, this is what we just explained. So this is the code commentary. Okay, returns a rank result with improvement deltas. So we're using the atlas to pre-computed the labels, okay, which is here. Exactly here. Right? So okay. Yeah, this is a computer score. This is scoring I implement in the I tell the Nyrobrain, this is all the metric I need to make sure it has the consideration in it. Well, let me find back. Oh, here. Yeah, composite score. So it will do the Sortino and also the MDD recovery. Yeah. So this is the part. So the OS you can ignore. It's not OS actually. It's the training set, but it's just variable name. So the most important part is like the sharp and the Sortino and the MDD and the recovery. Okay. So that's the idea. It's quite simple. It's not like rocket science. It's not really difficult. It's just that you need to like step by step to tell Nyrobrain, okay, what you want to do. Okay, you want to build a regime filter, okay, on your pipelines, because also all generated by using Nyrobrain here. Because Nyrobrain, after you give the context, he know how to help you to build this. So you just need to like after he reply you or build something, build some script and so on, you need to like maybe you need to check something whether it built as your expectation. Then you just ask back. I always do it in this way. So I just ask whatever I'm worried about. Okay, let's say I don't want to look ahead. I want to make sure how it use the data to run the regime, what kind of regime factor I want to use. I give the context, just like what I tell you just now. Okay, I want to differentiate the market properties, the characteristic, what is it happening now, the market dynamic, volatility, mean reverting or momentum, or it's a consolidation market or it's a trending market. Like this is all the thing I already told you. Of course, you can like give some other kind of metrics. Okay, maybe you can think of, I'm not sure, but this is all the main metric that you can use. Okay, so yes. So any no, any can understand. So let me get back some questions. Okay, what do you mean on-chain data that is very slow? Therefore use region filter. Okay, I think I answered the question already, right? For the question from BG. If yes, you can type a yes. If you still not, it's not answering your question, you can just type a no, so I know. Yeah, use more macro. Yes. Right. The sample size of the trade will not be enough. It tells you that the data is still have the predicting power, but the sample size is not enough. So it doesn't have the statistical significance, so that we cannot deploy it because like first thing, capital efficiency will be low because you are allocating some of your capital for that particular alpha. But 1 year it just open 3 or 6 trades. So if you have one strategy only, it's okay. But if you have 5, 10 kind of this kind of strategy, that will be eating up your capital efficiency quota because you're trying to like trade on the alpha that have a higher sample size rate, and also you can try to capture all the market dynamic that happening in the market. So obviously we were trying to increase the speed of executions, so that's why we don't apply for those kind of like really low trades of alpha. So hope this answer your questions. Okay, is this session fruitful? Like just take a feedback survey. I hope it helps. I think this one is like really important, by the way, and I don't think you can easily find this kind of topic being discussed. Yeah, so it's good if you are in the room right now. Okay, yeah, questions. Okay, thank you for all the recognitions. Okay, by the way, this week we will launch the paper trades deployment. So you guys can after that I will do a live stream again. Of course, you guys can go and do it yourself first. It's not hard. But of course, like you still not sure how to do it, I will do a live stream and do the demonstration for you guys again. And also, by the way, the portfolio backtest has already here. So if you go into the strategies here, you can already form out your own portfolio. So you just simply go to the chat sessions. You just ask him like, okay, I want to form a portfolio for all the past strategy I have in the list. So here, yeah, just simply with this prompt. Okay, group all past. Okay, group all past strategy into one portfolio and backtest them. Okay. So I didn't look at the result. I just like do as a demonstrations. Okay. So this is the portfolio equity. Like if you like all the strategy here, past one, okay, which is here only 8. Of course, you can use the review one. Review one is like not good enough, but if you want to still deploy, you can deploy it. So this is a final out of sample results. Okay. So out of sample, it's not considered really good because it's like I'm not yet doing any optimization of the portfolio allocation, and also the topic will be discussed afterwards. And you also can do some leverage on it because all here is like you're just using 1x leverage and you try to allocate all the existing alpha you have. So again, you might have a lower usage of a capital efficiency because like let's say all of the alpha, let's say you have 50 alphas. So across all the period, the max exposure of a portfolio is like maybe 40%, 50%, means that you have 50% of a capital as is not being used. Or let's say you look at the max drawdown. The max drawdown of your whole portfolio across the time is only have 10%. So it means that if you can have the risk appetite of increasing the max drawdown quota into 30%, means that you can up leverage your portfolio into 3x. Okay, so we'll see your result have a 3x. So basically for this like 0.6, you can upgrade your, not upgrade, so to boost your return to 3x. So to like 0.6 times 3 is like 1.8. So it's 180%. Yeah. Okay. So you can do a portfolio here. Okay, so you also can see all the result here. So this is the very crucial thing is that when you are doing paper trade, of course, you can deploy alpha one by one, but that's not the way, and that's not should be the way. So you need to form out a portfolio. After you form out a portfolio, then you can run either paper trades or live trades. So whenever live trades, you just simply bind your own exchange account. Then you can just one button, you can just run it on live 24/7 without worrying it will break down or like suddenly crash. Okay, or the Wi-Fi issue. Okay, because if you run on local, maybe sometimes the storage run out, your RAM run out, then you just crash the portfolio, the running strategies, which is kind of dangerous because you want to make sure your strategy uptime is 100%. Okay, then that's the only way to do it is using cloud. So when you want to deploy the cloud, like the normal ways is that you're using AWS, okay, and open a computer, the EC2 and stuff like that, setting out all the technical stuff, and only through the Linux interface. There's no mouse. You only can use coding command to do the setup, which is kind of headache for the new researcher or the quant researcher that you want to deploy alpha. I think that's not the time it's worthwhile for you to go and do all this stuff, because even myself, I don't know how to do it. It's all the quant dev work. And now we already like do all the package into one, and you can just do the deployment just with one button. So the cloud, of course, it will charge a fees if you're running on cloud, but running on paper trade will have no charges. For running on live on cloud, is like the same, almost the same with the cloud fees that you're gonna run on the either AWS or either any cloud provider. So of course you have a markup, okay, maybe like 20%. It's just for the work being done for you guys, but it's not gonna be very expensive. Okay, let's say if you want to deploy a 50 to 100 of alpha, maybe one month is only like $10. Okay, even you're running in AWS is somewhere around here. So like maybe we charge around $12. That's it. Okay. So 1 year is around $100, I think. Even cheaper lah. Yeah. So okay, when I see, can we understand how effective is the filter? The more it can filter. Okay, I think I answered this question already. Okay, can showcase the prompt how to tell Nyrobrain to build this template. Cause it seems used to write new array vectors. Okay, that's why you are seeing the script that I just showing you here. Like all this stuff is like generated internally on Nyrobrain. Okay, so or including just now the code I just show you here. This is why we need to pre-train the Nyrobrain. So this is why what we call pre-train. So pre-train, all the script is in the brain here. So this is all the script. Okay, the EDA, the param shift, the regime is all here. So the example of how I do this is, okay, let's say here. So this is how I pre-train it. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Okay, let me go to the part. Yeah, here. Okay, so yeah, this is one of it actually. Okay, so I just tell him like overlay region filter to protect the alpha. Okay, where does it coming from? Yeah. I can't find back the original one. Model mapping. Okay, let's say I use the model mapping as a case. Okay, so the model mapping is the selection guide. Okay, so I asked him like, okay, study in deep the ADRS extension I have, okay, which is here. I list all the model here. This is our self-hosted, like some kind of GitHub stuff. Okay, it's GitLab. So I study all the data pre-processing and entry exit logic model list. So study how each of the method will suit whichever alpha story case or factor data source. Okay, so I asked him to check my alpha story. So whenever I am saying some idea, it will check accordingly. The second thing is it will check the data structures. So whenever like I give him some example, so he can expect what I'm referring based on. So the data structures. So the non-normal, the heavy skew data, heavy outlier, blah, blah. So which some of the model pre-processing entry exit model will fail or not suitable when using some of the particular model. All right, so I give him the context here. So that, okay, this is my goal. Okay, I give him the context, I give him the what what I want to do, and this is my expected result. So that in future, when we researching a new alpha idea or story, we can have more relevant context during research to use the most fit combinations of method to do backtest research to increase the probability of finding a working profitable alpha that actually could capture the signal that serve the alpha story logic. So I emphasize once again, because I want to make sure the model selection is matching with my alpha ideas. Okay, because the alpha ideas will give you the context or the directions or how the alpha will be used or how the factor data will be signaled in the way that the alpha story wants to. Okay, so eventually record down all the learnings, logic mapping, and verdict in our knowledge base brain. Okay, so we could reduce, okay, again, I want to have the scripts. So I asked him to reduce the token consumption. So no need to keep writing new models every time. Okay, just to refer back our knowledge base and call out the relevant functions from the install package. Okay, if there are no suitable, this one is like the other stuff lah. Okay, this one not important. Okay, so I just do the researching, blah, blah, blah. Okay, do the structuring. So he has a selection guide, pre-processing, the signal. Okay, So this is all the context in the brain. Okay, it comes out with this one. Okay, asking some of the questions for you to confirm it. Okay, just this. Okay, then you can fine tune whatever you want. So afterwards, this is, okay, nothing. Oh, this one is just like, okay, I want to include the thing into my pipeline. It's just that here. Okay, so I want to include in the pipeline so that every time I run, it will refer back when I'm running the pipeline, because whenever I have the alpha ideas, it will always run through the pipeline here. So I want to automatically include the model selection thing. It's not like what, it's not I want to use, I call. I just put it in the pipeline. So whenever it runs it, it will use it. So it's like in the part of model selection here. So whenever going to step 4 to 6, it will use the selection guide, things like that. So this one, like, is it clearer? Do we have access to the scripts? We will only give the access to the script to our students lah. Yeah, because it's like a proprietary asset, to be honest. So we will only for going for students. Yeah. But here actually you already have because the most important thing is like you need to know the concept already giving you. So all the knowledge already show and demonstrate it here. Okay. Because like students, for CQA student, yes, we did guide you guys like how to write the MD file, right? Yeah, so we'll give the guidance for you to write the MD file for yourself. Yeah. It's because I give you the script, you need to structure in your way in your own pipelines. Yeah, so if I give you, it's like the script is like matching to my pipelines, because you need to have the whole context for the Nyrobrain, because when you have the script, you go into the pipeline is cross-referenced with all the other so-called steps or the phases. So you need to build based on your context, on your environment, so the AI have a full context and to so-called build accordingly to your system, because you are building the system actually. So the systems thing is like not here, there, like simple stuff, and you just put it in, it will gonna work well. Yeah. Right, let's see questions. This workspace is open for all of us, yes. Okay, so if you doesn't see this icon, you just go to the setting, advanced mode, you toggle on. Okay, because by default it's toggle off. Okay, from Crimson, so build from scratch with some trial and error is fearful for us. Yeah, that's why I'm doing this live stream to give you guys a guideline. Yeah. Because you also need to know what you are building as well. So from the process that you're building, actually you're also learning from the AI or the Nyrobrain. So it's a process and it already speed up the process by a lot. Because I still remember when I just started by studying all these things and try to make it into the real code to test. It's like simply a 1 month process, to be honest. 1 month. But now maybe you just spend one whole day, maybe two. I don't think we need 2 days, like maybe like 4-5 hours. Because like just now the model mapping, I just spent like maybe 1 hour like to finalize everything. The regime filter I use like maybe I use 2 days, but I'm not using like whole day, right? So I think each session took me like 2 to 3 hours. So like 6 hours I doing all of that stuff. Yeah. So it's like really fast procedure already. But of course, like to hear from you guys as well. So I understand the challenges from Crimson, okay, saying that it's fearful. So that's why we introduced there's a cheaper version here, actually, you guys. You guys can go and test. So there's the Max, Ultra, Max, and also Pro plan and Flash. Okay, so here. So it's like equivalent to Opus, okay, Ultra. And Max is the so-called like the ChatGPT 5.4 or 5.5, I forgot already. And also Opus. Okay. So for Pro, it's like Sonnet and also ChatGPT 5.4, I forgot already. Yeah, because we try to maximize the token, okay, by like we are doing some optimization at the back end. So if this is the max we can do, okay, so we try to maximize the output for you guys. So the Flash one is like the ChatGPT mini and also the Haiku. So, but even the Flash, I think because we already optimize it in the way with the structure base, we engineer it in our way. We spend this time because since when we have the class, we have a lot of feedback on, okay, the token is very expensive and things like that. Okay, we cannot do anything because we doesn't own the AI model company like Claude, like our Anthropic or OpenAI. So the costing is there. The thing we can do is like we spend time. We have 3 quant dev to do this optimization for that. So we worked this for like 3 weeks already. Okay, since the class we held for the CQA last month. So after this, we do a testing. It doesn't affect the result expected. Okay, so that we use this as the name here. So even the Flash, I think is good already. So I think the usage of, okay, the Pro is equivalent to Sonnet and even higher than Sonnet. Okay, so the Pro, you can expect the Sonnet result, but with the 3x of the usage or 5x of usage. And the Flash is like, you can have around 10x of the usage. I'm not exactly remembering the number already, but you guys can try and use it. Yeah, so the Max and Ultra will be still very expensive, okay? Especially the Max Ultra. Yeah, so you guys can try to use it more with Pro, with Flash. So it's like quite cheap already, like insanely cheap. Not cheap, insanely cheap. Yeah, so that's the way that we can try to help. Are you able to shorten our learning curve further on the building of this Nyrobrain? Yeah, we are. And every day, this is what I'm thinking actually. I'm trying to shorten the learning curve. Okay, I'm thinking, but if you guys have any suggestion, you can tell me. So this is what I'm doing now for the live stream workshops. And also we will do the pre-recorded workshops to do it like more systematically. And also we are having, because we actually we don't want to run course one, but there's a lot of people asking us like whether you guys have doing courses, because some like last time I remember there's a guy asking whether you guys have course. And also I think it's gonna be helpful if we have the way to do the paid course, and also helping us to onboard more of the people to really using Nyrobrain as Nyrobrain. It's not just simply using Nyrobrain just like answering questions AI. Yeah. So I think this is the way we can do that. And we also because that is a new course, we will do it as the starting. We will like do it like the cheaper first. okay, cheaper version, but eventually if we want to continue the course, maybe we'll not maybe we'll surely will be increasing the price, because the price is like we also try to like give, because the commitment is high, and we are deciding if we really want to onboard the journey. It's like a 60-day journey. Yeah, so we are still like designing the structures to make sure the onboarding and also the after course, how we gonna make sure and hold accountability to make sure like, because this is not like different, it's like it's kind of different like comparing the CQA, because CQA is like you need to equip the coding skill yourself. So some like not everyone like can going through the barrier. So it's kind of hard to hold accountability, like to make sure like you must do this, do that, because coding is a barrier at itself already. But now through Nyrobrain, the coding barrier is gone, so that I can expect something from students, like you need to make sure to do this project 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if you can clear all the project, all the roadmap, so we can help the hackathon or stuff that only for those who have complete all the journey, then we can say that, okay, you are really the one that is very serious about it. So we can help something to some kind of like 验收. 验收 means that to test whether, because you already go through the journey, the roadmap, you surely have the sense of making the alpha, and also you have the knowledge to how to build the alpha from 0 to 100. So we will held some sort of event like to let you guys to have a stage, okay, to perform in the way that we have maybe some funding program through the Prime, like just like previously we have mentioned about it. Yeah, so I think this is gonna help, and also is good for our ecosystems to really have like a talent seeking channel, because we are doing the hedge fund thing ourselves. We have an internal team also doing alpha research. But if we can use it as the talent seeking portal, and can be so-called copy and paste to the other channel, like maybe like more different kind of community, like universities, then is a good way. So this kind of drive me to like do this stuff lah. Or else I think if like let's say the CQA, that's why we try to stop it, because I don't think it's kind of hard for people to like really go through it, and I don't see the synergized effect. Yeah. And also like it's like okay, if you guys had joined the live of the Tradveller Lite yesterday, I got mentions. I like to do things that compounds. I don't like to do things like only one time. So like if you want me to teach course and just teaching a course, it's a one-time thing for me. It's like for me, it's like I think it's very tiring, and has, because no compounding effect, you just do it once and you get the, of course you still make some profit for the company and for your team, but I don't feel like driven. Okay, but if this is like good for the ecosystem, has a long growth relationship, and I think that's worthwhile for me to do it. Okay, that's a long story. Okay, skip it. So I'm able to shorten our learning curve further on building on this now. Okay, so I just answered the questions. That's true. What will be the next student class? Okay, so I just briefly mentioned. Okay, so there's two classes. So for the first one will be the very affordable price. So it's like 2850, well, ringgit Malaysia. Okay, so it's like for the newbie or the manual trader, you want to transit to quant trader. So in the course, we'll teach about how to backtest and how to think alpha and how to deploy strategy. That's it. It's very simple. There's no very difficult thing or complex thing. Even like today in the live session, actually I'm already sharing some advanced stuff. Okay, but in the course of the basic one, we're focusing on the concept of what is a good backtest, what is a bad backtest, and what kind of thing need to avoiding it, like all the technical stuff, and also how to differentiate what kind of alpha angle you need to think to help you to generate useful alpha ideas. and also how you use AI, because we will teach in the AI way. It's not like the old stuff, because old way we are using Excel files, teaching you how to backtest, and the deployment, we didn't like teach the deployment stuff. Okay, but in this one, we will teach the deployment and also how you like prompt with the AI and make good use of the AI. Yeah, and write the MD file and stuff like that. But it's like the basic stuff lah. So and the second course will be the advanced stuff. Okay, so that one is the like a full commitment, and also we provide the roadmap and stuff like that. And that's the part I looking forward to, like really have some people like building a rising star, like finding good alphas and getting a funding program from. Okay, so that one will be initially, because it's 12K, right? 12K US dollar. And this one we will, because like we have run the course already on CQA, because CQA already run the course, because it's like because they already pay for 12K, so we just give it as a complimentary course for them, because we also want to have the AI knowledge to teach them so that they can onboard easily, and also use AI to help them to go through the coding barrier. So already give them the course, but I would say it's not perfect yet. So that's why I say it's still test, like it's a test period. We all keep on optimizing the syllabus because like AI is quite new. So every day we're trying to make it like more systematically, and also from the student feedback, good or bad, we are trying to take in, digest it in, and also make the syllabus to be more improved. Okay, to be more like smooth lah. So that's why we're charging for initially 12K, but we are charging for 6K for right now. But for the class we haven't doing, because we have yet to push anything. I think you guys are the first one who know this. Yeah, so this is the course that we will prepare. This is also the course that we will be pushing. So for temporarily, we'll push like for 6,000, but afterwards, the second course, maybe third course, the second course maybe 8,000, third course maybe 9,000, so on. Okay, to increase eventually back to 12K. Yeah, for CQA student, I think I think it's like we will do this for you guys. So let's say let's say we already decided for the date. We will ask again for the CQA student to come back. Okay, so for CQA student, this is like for free for you guys. Okay, so you guys can come back. But of course, like if for new students, okay, of course I think it's like already the big chip lah. So 6,000 is like 50% already. So for the layer one, which is the first course, the 2850 ringgit one, I think already have the date. Let me check, because I already see the purchasing link. Where? Okay, for the first the basic class, the basic class will be called, I forget the name already. Something like agentic quant. I forget. Okay, so it's online. Okay, anyway, it's online. And for the advanced one, probably will be offline. Okay, most likely will be offline. Okay, should 100% will be offline, but we will provide any other additional sources for you that will be online. Yeah, like something like the script or so on. We'll do it in a more proper way. It's not like in the class just randomly give, like it's like very messy. Yeah, so that's what we will plan, because we will have an official website and things like that. Yeah, the purchasing link 2850. Okay, yeah, here. But there's no date. Why? Yeah, I need to ask the team. Yeah, CQA student, you can come and revise. I always ask you guys to come back and revise. Agentic call automation. Oh yeah, the name. Oh, okay. You are better. You have a better understanding with for compared to me. So Sing dollar is 938 Sing dollar. Okay. Yeah, by the way, the link I just sent you lah, in case you guys want to buy for the 28501. To agentic. The date will be around the starting of July, the first week or second week of July. And it's online and will be Saturday, Sunday. Yeah, Saturday, Sunday. So we will have no issue lah. For the 6K course, it's not compulsory go for basic class first, right? No, understand. Of course, it's not compulsory. It's like advanced stuff. Yeah, you just do it based on your needs. Because in the advanced stuff, we'll talk about portfolio allocation, revision filter, param shift scan, like all the full stack stuff. Whatever we know, we teach all of them. Yeah. So the basic is like the most fundamental thing. Like if you want to deploy some alpha, the things you need to know. So you need to know backtest. Okay, how you know to do deployment. That's it. So it's like basic stuff. Like you can start to deploy your strategy full auto 24/7. So that's knowledge. Yeah. But how to like improve further, how to do the allocation, how to maximize the result, how to do the pipeline like in a way that can do agentic research, then there's all the advanced stuff. Yeah, agentic research is also one of the big topic. I mean, it's not must buy 2850 only can buy. There's no this restriction, but when during the 6K classes, we will assume that you know all the thing during the 2850. So we will not go back all the like basic stuff lah. Yeah. So you can do so, but I just get maybe you cannot keep it up. Yeah, because it's like we'll dive right into the advanced stuff. What is the date? Any of my team is here can give the date. I think my team is not here today. CQA can attend the basic class, yes. Yes. CQA student, you can access everything. Everything, okay? Okay, we're not gonna charge you again. Okay. Because your guys already paid for the highest tier course. Okay. So whatever we can give, we can give. If we cannot give, really cannot give. Like the token cost is like, if I give you, I need to lose money already. Okay, even like during the CQA course, I give you guys, I sponsor of course it's like not really a big amount, but it's still $100, right? So for like 50 of you is like $5,000 already. And after that, after the hackathon, the prize pool is like $1,600. Yeah. So total up, I asking you guys back to attend the course, I still need to pay back around $2,100. But I'm happy. I'm not trying to complain any stuff. I'm looking forward you guys to like really make good use of Nyrobrain and really find some alpha. Yeah. Then this will be my motivation. Or else like let's say if keep doing this stuff, there's no positive reinforcement, then I just better going back to my internal team and do the researching myself. Yeah, but I believe with Nyrobrain, this one will be more achievable, more feasible for like, because a lot of you guys have your
your main job as well. So I cannot expect much from you guys as well, because I'm full-time doing this, and I'm already feeling like it's not easy if I have no AI. But now with AI, I think it's more feasible, and I'm transferring all my knowledge and experience. To be honest, I'm not like keeping anything unless of the alpha ideas. In the advanced class, I can promise that I'm giving out everything I know. Okay, so let's say in future you coming back, I have some new understanding, new knowledge I've learned, like just right now. Okay, I'm asking back CQA come back because I know that I have the new knowledge of how to use the AI using agentic to help me to do research. That's why I'm calling you guys back, right? So to update, okay, this is the new thing I learned and I'm sharing with you so you guys can use it as well. Yeah, so this is my promise I can do for the advanced class. So everything I know, the new updated one, if you can have the time to come and do the revision, then that's all the thing I can share with you guys. Yeah. Okay, that's cool. If you think it's cool, you can type a cool for me. Nyrobrain is a great leap forward. Yes, I think so. For me as well, personally, it's also this case. It's an honest opinion of mine. During back then, because I'm a half coder, as you guys know, it's like headache. It's a huge headache for me in the past. Okay, do a research. I use one whole day just like doing some 2 or 3 iterations. But right now, just one line. I can simply do 3, 4, 5 iteration within one hour. Advanced class is in KL, yes, unfortunately, because I cannot do Naruto. I cannot split my body here and there. Okay, because advanced stuff, because it's advanced, I don't think online can convey very good. That's why we still need to like spend time, do offlines to make sure everyone can follow up. So I can go to your space to see whether you are following up or not. So that's why we need to do offline. Yeah, because if I want to do online, it's simple only, I just do online. Why? But I need to make sure you guys can really follow. Why don't let us use your own NPI? That's why there's an umbrella fund. Yeah, you can invest on me. You want? Yeah. Yeah, I think that's advanced class day. I need to ask my team. Sorry. Sorry. I ask again. Maybe I update in the Discord. Okay. Because I just focusing on the content, all the funnel thing, all the casting, all the how much they charge is not by me actually. Okay, I don't even know. I just focusing on my stuff. Okay, so I will confirm the detail again. Sorry, because today I actually I didn't have I want because I'm not selling anything, I just want to share stuff, so I'm not prepared. Sorry. Okay. Just that someone just asked, so just I give the information. Okay, but coming back to the topic, like any final questions, I think already like 2 hours. I don't want to make the session too long. So you guys can let me know. Any other questions? Yeah. Okay, definitely have enough time for you guys to prepare at least 1 month prior notice. Because now we are already running some of the ads and stuff like that to fill up the room for closing up the basic class. So after the basic class, only we will start selling for the advanced class. So after that, only we will have the class date, right? Yeah, so definitely is because I say that the basic class is like starting of July. So after the class, maybe we'll do it like August already. Yeah. Yeah, the video will be recorded. Okay, so again, we'll upload on YouTube so you guys can refer back. Okay, so I think you guys have no questions because I see the chat room. It's all about the classes. Yeah, so I hope this live stream session helps. And also you guys can feel free to give me more feedback. Okay, either good or bad, or what kind of topic you want me to talk about. Okay, so I will still talk it. Okay. So I will try my best. All right. to give you guys have the concept to really make a good use of Nyrobrain. Okay, bye bye. Okay, you guys so urgent want to buy with me, don't want to see me. Yeah, just kidding. All right. Okay, thank you guys. Okay, thank you for staying up for 2 hours. All right. So this will be it. We'll see you in the next live stream. Okay. Thanks, Sam. I see you. What time is it on your place, on your side? I think it's like early morning. Okay, I also thank you all other guys again, not just Sam, right? Okay, the guys don't. Okay. I think it's left already. Okay, thank you everyone. Okay, bye.